So today I wanted to try a new soup in the slow cooker. We use our Instapot for our slow cooker. So I went ahead and started out with some green chili we had frozen from last year's harvest. So I wanted to use that up. But this is called green enchilada chicken soup. And I will make sure I post the recipe for you in the description box. But I wanted to show you how to make this. And so yeah, you put your green chilies in first. And then you want to add 10 ounces of canned green chili enchilada sauce. But I am going to actually, my husband made some homemade enchilada sauce over here from some peppers and stuff that he had. And I kind of will share that, what he did. He actually boiled the peppers and added a bunch of spices and onions, and yeah, this is going to be so good. So I'm going to add my enchilada sauce next. There's the enchilada sauce. Then you want to add your 4 teaspoons of chili powder. I already added 1, so there's 3 more of that. A teaspoon of paprika. Quarter teaspoon of pepper. Just gonna do a pinch in there. 1 cup of chicken broth. So you want to stir this mixture before you add the rest of your ingredients. So then you want to add your shredded chicken, which I did a rotisserie chicken, so I'm going to cut that up real quick. And then you add your corn, which is a can of corn, a 15-ounce can, and then you add a 15-ounce can of pinto beans, drained and rinsed. So here's the pinto beans going in. Woo! Here's the can of corn going in. I'm just doing whole kernel. All right, here's the shredded chicken that's going in. We'll add more of this if we need it later. Buying that rotisserie chicken will be so much nicer. Oh yeah, that's looking good, guys. So at this point, you want to just cook it on low for 3 to 4 hours. There are some ingredients you add when you're closer to done, and that is 30 minutes before serving. You add 8 ounces of cream cheese, and then you top with your favorite toppings, which is, you know, tomato, sour cream. You could do tortilla strips, those kinds of things. But I'm excited. We'll let you know what this looks like when we're closer to the end. Hi friends, hope you're doing well. I just wanted to show you real quick. This is what we do with our leftover turkey, one of the dishes we make. It is turkey pot pies, very easy to do. You just saute your onions, carrots, and celery, and then add your turkey and you stir it. And I'll show you the next step here in just a little bit, but I wanted to kind of share this with you for your leftover turkey. I actually froze my turkey, so I just defrosted it for just a few seconds, and it's easy to cut and put into your mixture. I got both white meat and dark meat here. You add about 2 cups of turkey in. Okay, let me see how much that is. And what we do with these is we do freeze them and just take them out and bake them. You bake them for 30 to 40 minutes at, I think, 400. But I'll double check all that, and I'll leave this recipe down below for you if you want it. So your thickening is a 1/4 cup flour. So you'll want to just sprinkle that into your mixture. And then just stir this around, stir out your flour taste for a minute or so. And then you're going to add your broth. You can have turkey broth, chicken broth, whatever you would like. So I am going to do chicken broth. You can even just keep this filling, like cool it way down, keep it in the fridge, and then eventually freeze it for when you need it. But we're going to go ahead and make the individual pies. So you want to add 2 cups of chicken broth. So your next item is going to be your 3/4 cup of heavy cream. If you don't want it, you know, that creamy, you can probably do just a little splash, but I go ahead and use the 3/4 cup. You kind of start feeling it tightening up and getting a little bit thicker, kind of like a gravy. Alright, in goes the cream. And the recipe says you could add peas. I have a few left over from the first time I made this. So I'm going to put those in. You said you can add them now. And then I'll salt and pepper it real good. And you can even add a splasher like white wine if that's your preference. I would just use whatever like you like to drink. Nothing expensive. Oh, there, it's starting to bubble. All right. gonna go ahead and put my peas in. I'm gonna use the rest of those. Oh, have a little piece of turkey skin there. Okay. I'm gonna add a little fresh thyme. This is actually from my garden. Such an easy recipe and very tasty and comforting. So, just a really good option. So this is what I actually have left over from, you know, I was making this beforehand. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this to my mixture here and get it all like incorporated together. So I'll have lots of filling to make these pies with. Kind of let that kind of simmer together for a little bit. Again, you could put any vegetables in here you would like. You could probably put mushrooms in here. Things that freeze well, probably. So just do it to your taste. But this is pretty much the basic for me. I don't like to really overdo it. But oh my goodness, that looks so good. Okay. Oh, there's a little more skin. You know what? I'm gonna do a little more salt and pepper since I added some more to it. Perfect. I will get my dough ready next. I just wanted to show you also these pans. I ordered them from Walmart.com. They were really kind of hard to find. We went in store and couldn't really find them in the store, but I went to Walmart.com and found, I think this is like a 12 pack. And these are nice. They look like they're gonna be deep enough and big enough. All right, so I'm gonna let this mixture kind of sit here on the stove while I get the dough made. So for my pot pie crust, it is definitely different than like pie crust. So I'll actually put this recipe in the description box. It's so easy. It's basically 2 cups of flour, 2/3 cup of cold butter, and 5 to 6 tablespoons of water. But you just want enough water to bring it together. I actually do it, my mom taught me to do like ice water, and that helps, you know, keep it cold. So kind of cut in your butter and make little, you know, pieces. I find using a paring knife and doing it this way is so much easier than putting it on the counter and trying to cut it. So I probably will use my pastry cutter to get this started. But if you don't have one of those, yeah, just use your fingers and get in there. This crust actually turns out really good, really flaky. All right, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and use my pastry cutter first. All right, now I'm just gonna get in there and use my hands. Just try to break up the butter a little bit more into like little pebbles. That's what it should look like. Little tiny pebbles. Or crumb-like, I guess. Okay. I got it pretty good. Okay, now I'm gonna add my water. Go ahead and do like 5 tablespoons. It's at least gonna take 5 tablespoons. Got my little ice water here. Cool. Yeah, I think one more ought to do it. Try not to overwork your dough either. That'll make it too tough. So I am going to grab a little ball of this and we'll roll it out and measure for our little tins. You don't want to roll out the dough too thick. I actually want to get mine really thin. Last time I did this, I think I left it too thick because you got to remember it's gonna kind of bake up when you bake it. So, and I'm doing a double layer. You don't have to do that. You could probably just do a top crust, but I'm gonna do a double layer. So. All right, that one's ready to fill. So now I'm going to go ahead and make the top crust. I'm going to smush this down, and you can do your top crust. Well, I'll show you in just a minute what I do. Again, I want this super duper thin. And sometimes I will, let me go ahead and trim that off. Sometimes I will like pinch and roll my edges, but I think I might just use a fork and crimp it. That's how they come in the store too, so. And it's nice because then you don't have a lot of excess dough. And I don't like a lot of dough, just a little bit, so. All right, so let me go along the edge here. Kind of push down. Dawn probably likes a lot of dough, but you know. Okay. So yeah, just take your fork, crimp those together like this. Kind of hold your finger under the edge so you can kind of get a nice little crimp there. Perfect. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. These are handmade. And voila. So they tell you just to put a couple slits in. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a couple on the top here. And that one is ready to freeze. All right, guys, that was the end of this recipe. I hope you enjoyed. I'm just going to continue making my dough and filling my pans up, and we'll be just storing them in the freezer for winter grab-a-meal. Heat up in the oven. Let me double check. 400 for 30 to 40 minutes. Have a great day. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.